Okay, we have the honor today to have a Choshev in German in our community, Harav Achosid, Harav Avrom Ashkenazi, which is well known for many times to give us the insights in Halacha and in all in of interest. בבקשה רבה.
שכח. Okay, so first of all, I'd like to begin by quoting Tavshin Amidalek, we all know, people weren't happy. And on Chol Hamoed Sukkos, Rebbe Levin, together with Nachman Shapiro, organized a keynote Torah. And it was after the Rebbe spoke in the Farbrengen on the second night of Sukkos about making sure the Bachrim are learning Torah and doing Farbrengen with them. So he wrote into the Rebbe afterwards, he sent him a duch, and the Rebbe responded, and then afterwards he also wrote again to the Rebbe that he spoke to all the respective people that are responsible for these places, and the Rebbe also responded. So see here that the idea of doing Kינוס Torah is definitely something which is b'miyuchad, connected to the times that we're in. So, Mir Tashem will discuss two shilas that came up over Yom Tov. Benegei Yaknehaz. Yaknehaz is something that we did 3 times in the past month. Even though the next time that's going to be Pesach Tafshin Pehei in a year and a half from now. But some of the topics that we're going to discuss is the Negei Lamaisa throughout the year for Yain, for Kiddush and Havdalah. So we'll talk about 2 shilas that came up. So Minakala Lakavid, the first question is, if a person, it happened on Simchas Torah, if a husband is already in shul for Mincha Ma'ariv and he wants to be Mekayim the minhag of making Kiddush before a Kafir, after Ma'ariv, and then his wife or another woman is staying at home, and then he plans on having Kiddush, dance a Kafir, and later at night he wants to come home to have the Suda. The question is, can he repeat Yaknehaz for his wife or for another woman? That's question number 1. Question number 2 is, what happens if you're in shul already, Motzei Shabbos, Leil Simchas Torah, and you don't have a candle, and you want to do Yaknehaz, you want to do the Neil, you want to do the Bracha Ben Emireish, what can you do if you don't have any candle? So, the first question. So, Bichlal, Benegia Kiddush on Shabbos is already a discussion if a man can repeat Kiddush for a woman, Saiba Kiddush at night and Saiba Kiddush by day. There's different opinions, different ways of explaining. On the Maisa, we say that perhaps the Maisa definitely by day we see the minhag is that men do repeat Kiddush for a woman after Farbrengen when they come back home. By Friday night it's a little more complicated. Some people say it should only be done if the woman cannot make Kiddush herself. Some people want to bring from Maisa Rav, I think it was Tafshin Chav Zayin. Simchas Torah fell on 3-day Yom Tov and it was Petes Mappa. The Rebbe told there was a custom that somebody should make Kiddush for other people, and it's, I don't know, I didn't look it up, but I believe the Rebbe later made it sound that those people can go again home and make, even though they were already Yotzei, they can go and make Kiddush for other women Friday night. So Bichlal Benegei Shabbos, we have this discussion. When it comes to Havdalah, many people know this, some don't, but we have Al Rebbe being Selassie for Simon Vav. There's 3 opinions what the chiyuv of woman by Havdalah is. So there's one shita that says that the chiyuv of Havdalah for men is min ha-Torah, and the same goes to women. The same way that the men have the chiyuv min ha-Torah to make Havdalah, I think that's the opinion of the Rambam, that you have to be mekadesh b'chnesose b'tziyose. The same goes to women. Women also have the chiyuv of midiraisa to make Havdalah on Shabbos. Then there's the other opinions that hold that Havdalah is only midirabanan. So then you have 2 opinions. One hold that it's a chiyuv midirabanan for men, but the women don't have the chiyuv. The Chachamim didn't make the chiyuv for women because it's Aisha Shazman Grama. And the third opinion holds that no, that it's derabanan, but the women also have this chiyuv midirabanan to make Havdalah on Shabbos. So the Ma'aseh that we go to Chumrah according to all opinions, that the Rebbe is mafsik that what we learn from here is that the Halacha said that man cannot make Havdalah for a woman if they're already Yotzei, if it's only one woman or more women listening to it. So a man, if he was already Yotzei in shul or whatever, he made it already himself, he cannot repeat the Havdalah for a woman because according to the opinion that says that women are not obligated in Havdalah, he's going to make a bracha of Havdalah. The same is true that a man cannot be Yotzei from a woman for Havdalah because according to those opinions that say that a woman is not mechuyev in Havdalah, mechuyev in Havdalah, so she can't be Yotzei someone who's mechuyev like a man. And finally, another thing that the Alter Rebbe holds, some can disagree, is that a woman can make Havdalah for herself, even though there are opinions that say that the woman doesn't have a chiyuv of Havdalah at all, even with the Rabbanan, but the Maisa, like we know by many mitzvahs, straight for all of them, the woman can make the bracha, so we hold that a woman can make Havdalah for herself. Now the question is, what happens when it's Yak and Has? So we spoke about Kiddush, we spoke about Havdalah, what about when they're together? So the question is, based on everything that we said, the Chayra Yak and Has as a bracha of Havdalah, so the same would go true of the dinim of Havdalah, the same way that a man cannot make Havdalah for a woman, the same would hold true for Yak and Has. So what's the svara to say that perhaps yes, that maybe a man can make the Kiddush Yak and Has on Matzah Shabbos, which is a Leil Yom for a woman if he was already Yitzeh. Why would you say they could repeat it? So Later brings a similar study of Simon Siv Zayin, that there's a Bichlal. Not many people know this also. By Friday night, the order of preference, if you don't have yain, if you don't have wine, is to make kiddush on the bread, on the chalas, pas, and then if you don't have that, then you go for Chamar Medina. When it comes to Shabbos day, it's the opposite. First, we'd rather go do make kiddush on Chamar Medina, sheikhar, beer, or whatever you have. But the last case scenario is to do on challah. That brings because the kiddush of yom, if you're going to do on the bread, it's not nikar that you're making kiddush for something special, because you're anyways doing the tsuda. I believe there's some person that hold that even you should do a kiddush on Shabbos day. Milk comes before chalas. Not too many people know this, but not too many people know this, that making kiddush Shabbos day on challah melechatchila. I mean, if you don't want to use wine, but if you have grape juice, if you have other Chamar Medina, you should definitely use Chamar Medina on Shabbos day. But when it comes to Shabbos, so Later brings in Siv Zayin there, and it was Havdalah, that because Havdalah is part of this Kiddush, you're talking about Kiddush of Yak and Has, when Yom Tov falls on Motzei Shabbos, so then Havdalah can be made on Pas, even though B'chal Kiddush we say that it should not be made by Pas, even though B'chal Havdalah cannot be made by Pas, because Alter Rebbe holds, in Siv Zayin, Alter Rebbe brings that Havdalah cannot be made by Pas. Why? Because the whole reason why you're allowed to make Kiddush on Pas is because it's part of the Suda. Mashen Ken Havdalah, there's no chiv of making Havdalah b'makim Suda. There's a chiv to do Kiddush b'makim Suda. Mashen Ken, when Havdalah is also part of Kiddush, then Alter Rebbe holds that, say that yesh shamim that it can be maybe made on Pas. Other opinions say that no, that it should still be done on Chamar Medina. But the Rebbe ends by saying that the minhag is like the first opinion to do, that it's better to do Yak and Has if you don't have wine. It's better to do on the Pas, on the Suda, on the Lech Mishnah, than to use Chamar Medina. And the Alter Rebbe brings there that this opinion that holds that you can do on Pas is because in this case, the Yak and Has, the Havdalah is Tefillah the Kiddush, meaning even though B'chal for Havdalah we say that you should not make on Pas, but because the main thing here is the Kiddush, so even though there's Havdalah also, but because the main thing is the Kiddush, so the Havdalah is Tefillah to this, so you can do Yak and Has on the Pas. So we find this concept of Havdalah Tefillah the Kiddush in many other areas. The Einan Chinami, when it comes to Yak and Has, the main thing is the Kiddush, and the secondary thing is the Havdalah. We find other aspects. We know that we just said that women can make Havdalah herself. That's how we hold. And but there's some problems with that. That Bichlal, it's brought down with this Magen Avraham, even though the Rebbe doesn't bring that. That there's a problem for women to drink from the wine of Havdalah, of Bikabal, if I'm not mistaken. There's many problems that come with that. For example, if Chosan and Kal are having a Sheva Brachas Suda Shlishis, and you're gonna later you can use that cup for Kosher Bracha for Havdalah, how are you gonna give it to the Kala? There's a discussion brought down, but our minhag is that a woman does make her own Havdalah and she drinks when she is making her own Havdalah. And the same is true with Benegea making a B'nai Mereish, that we hold that a Maisa woman, when she makes Havdalah herself, she can make the Bracha B'nai Mereish. But many poskim hold otherwise. They say that a woman cannot make Havdalah herself, and others even say that she can't ever make the Bracha B'nai Mereish. But when it comes to Leila Seder, we know that the minhag is that everybody in the house, according to most opinions, and this is our minhag also, everybody holds the first place of Dalit faces and makes the Kiddush together, or by itself, or by themselves. When it comes to them, even those poskim that say that you can't, that a woman should not drink the case of Havdalah, or she cannot make the bracha and reish v'chulu. In that case, when it comes to Yak and Has, when it comes to Leila Seder, they say that it's allowed because it's Yak and Has. It's not Havdalah mamish, it's Havdalah Tefillah the Kiddush. So we allow the woman to do all those things. Now, the said we know that we hold that the woman does everything by Leila Seder, just that she doesn't say Shechiana, and she also doesn't do Haseva, but we do. She does Yak and Has. Okay. So, based on this, we could say that perhaps the same would apply when it comes to Motzei Shabbos and falls on Yom Tov. Maybe because of Dollars Tefillah L'Kiddush, perhaps you can say that a man could make repeat Yakin Has for a woman. L'maisa we say no, because even though for this small aspects when you're giving hugging, we can say that it's Tafel L'Kiddush, we're making the pass instead of Chamar Midina. But when it comes to the Chmidus of the Bracha L'Avdallah that we mentioned before, that if you're going to say that the man is going to now repeat the Bracha L'Avdallah for a woman is the Chash Bracha L'Avdallah, because according to some opinions she's not Mechuyev, so we don't say that Avdallah is Tefillah L'Kiddush, and Zoyis Loy, the Maisa we say that he cannot make. Now there are other opinions that argue with this, and they say that when it comes to Yakin Has, the has a din of Kiddush Mamish, it's not like Avdallah at all, so you could technically repeat, but we don't hold like this, I think. And some people say that because the Avdallah is actually the bracha b'fnei atzma when it comes to Yakin Has, so that's what we were saying till now, that because it's bracha b'fnei atzma, so you can't say that it's tafel b'kiddush mamish when it comes to this shaila if a man can repeat it for a woman. And some even say adarabah, that when it comes to Yakin Has, when it's ben kodesh lekodesh, they want to say that according to everyone, a woman is not doesn't have nobody has a chiyuv midiraisa of Avdallah. Everybody's potter because ben kodesh lekodesh is not minatera, so adarabah you would say that definitely by Yakin Has. She's a woman is potter and she cannot be. You cannot repeat Yakin Has for them. Just one small nekuda when it comes to bichlal. Forget about Motzei Shabbos. Kiddush and Yom Tov. If a man, we're talking about again by Friday night. If a man the mice is repeating, he already made kiddush with shechiona and is now making for his wife. Most probably he will not say shechiona because the wife already said by the candles and he already said by his kiddush. So he definitely should not say shechiona again. Another nekudas benegiyah, what we said right before is the benegiyah. This that in kodesh lekodesh is the women are tudas midiraisa. Some would say that is also for men that the idea of kodesh lekodesh is only midirabanan. So this would also be a halacha l'maisa question benegiyah Israeli Jew that is in the Chutz La'aretz. And he wants to hear Avdallah from somebody who's doing Yakin Has on the second day of Yom Tov. For him, it's already Chayim, and he wants to hear Avdallah, so the Chayim would be problematic, because for the person who's making the Kiddush is a Chiyuv Midiraisa, and for this person who wants to do a Chiyuv Midirabanan, but it's not a problem, because Chiyuv Midiraisa is higher than a Chiyuv Midirabanan, and Poskim also bring the Shalab Benegiyah that the bracha is different. For him, if he would make Avdallah, the bracha would be Mekudsh Chayim, and now he's hearing bracha Mekudsh Kodesh, but in the mindset I think it's not a problem. And that part. Also, there's a discussion in first committee. If it's like Avdallah or a Kiddush, we don't have this problem because we do both Avdallah and Kiddush. We do both standing. But when it comes to other people, they do Kiddush one way or Avdallah the other way. So first can discuss what you do by Yakin Has. You do a bracha like this or a bracha like that. What do you have to do? Also, the Shiva Sukkah, some people do standing, some people do sitting. It will be like a sitting up and down when it comes to second day of Sukkah, I would say. So the Maisa, bottom line is that I mentioned not repeat Yakin Has for a woman on this second night of Yom Tov, that's Motzei Shabbos, because it includes Avdallah. Now the solutions are either that a woman should make Yakin Has herself, if you want to make Kiddush and Shul or whatever the case is, you already did Yakin Has, so either a woman does herself on wine, or she can make on pas, like we mentioned before, or even if she doesn't want to, for whatever reason she doesn't want to make on pas, she can do on Chman Medina. Tzarechim a little bit. If it's we know coffee and tea b'derech it's considered Chman Medina definitely for Avdallah, but some people want to say that for Kiddush it's not so simple. But here there's more tzad l'hakad because it's also Avdallah, based on everything that we said. But the mice, I think even Kiddush at the end of the day, if a woman cannot do another thing, she's allowed to use coffee and tea. Or another solution would be that it's, I don't know if this is 100% kosher, let's say, but if a man wants to be yotze from someone else in shul, and this person is doing Yakin Has, so he can put in his mind, I'm going to be yotze from this person a bracha of yain and kiddush, and when it comes to the brachas of neir adalas man, I'm going to be quiet and I'm going to just have kavanah not to be yotze zayin, and then later when I come home, I can repeat Yakin Has for my wife because I was only yotze yain and kiddush. I can now do yain kiddush neir adalas man. I don't know if that makes sense. Also, there's a problem of hefsek over here. There's not such a big deal when it comes to hearing the other brachas. We see this by women by Yom Tov. They already ben shechionu, and the husband is making shechionu in his kiddush, and we say that it's not a half sick, and there's even a discussion if a woman can answer Amen for the bracha shechion or not. But the Maisa says that we say that she's even allowed to answer, so it wouldn't be such a big problem here for the man to hear from someone else making kiddush. It'd be yotze just the first two brachas. Okay, just moving on for the next shaila. Hopefully we'll have time. Benegi, a candle for yakin has. So what can you do? So we'll try to go quick. So we'll start with two klonim. That shvus ben koy mitzvah is permitted, the klal, and lighting a fire on Yom Tov is a isur d'Rabbanan. Benegi on the Maisa, even though the Taz holds it's the Raisa, but when it comes to the Maisa, we hold that it's only a problem with the Rabbanan, either because of Moed or because it's something that you could have done before Yom Tov. So the Chayra, you can say that you can ask a guy if you're in shul and you want to make yakin has, you want to do the bracha midei. You can ask a guy, you can ask a guy to light a fire in Yom Tov, which is in the Rabbanan, Shvus, so you want to make the bracha of midei. But it's not so simple because the bracha of midei, we know that Motzei Shabbos, there's no chiyuv to go after a candle. When in Mashiach and Yom Kippur, Motzei Yom Kippur, it's a little ironic. When it comes to Motzei Yom Kippur, there's a chiyuv to go after a candle, but you cannot use any candle. It has to be a Nesha Shabbos. When it comes to Motzei Shabbos, you can use any candle, but you don't have to go after it. So it's not a mitzvah, so there's no shvus mitzvah. They can ask a guy to light a candle for the bracha of midei for just for you to make the bracha of midei. But also the Alter Rebbe brings that in Simon Ches and also in Hilchos Pesach. Alter Rebbe brings in Simon Tov and Gimel the Negia Leila Seder that when it's Leila Seder falls on Motzei Shabbos, also the Alter Rebbe says that the Seder the Kiddush is Kiddush Neina Dollars and then the Alter Rebbe says V'im Yesh Loinei, that if you have a candle then Yivarech Olav Kedem Avdol Alecha Kiddush. Only if you have a candle then you make the bracha of Neni. But if you don't have a candle, you don't have to necessarily do anything. On the other hand, so we see it's not a mitzvah really, but in Simon Rishon Mechalav that brings Benegia Bein HaShmoshes on Friday, we know that Bein HaShmoshes you can't do any Melacha D'Oraisa, also Melacha D'Rabbanan, but when it comes to Melacha D'Rabbanan, B'mkei mitzvah, some mitzvahs you're allowed to do on Bein HaShmoshes of Erev Shabbos. And he brings some examples. One example is that you can ask a guy to light a candle for the Suda of Shabbos, for Tzedek Shabbos. The discussion how it applies nowadays, that we have electric light. And another example that brings is that you can ask a guy to light a yahrzeit licht if a person has a yahrzeit on Shabbos and he forgot to light. So on Bein HaShmoshes of Shabbos, you're allowed to ask a guy. Now there's no mitzvah. So the Rebbe says that even though there's no mitzvah, but because it's something that the Olam is nizar b'zeh, and there's a great tzar, so it's considered the tzedek gadol, and we know the shvus is premier not only b'mkei mitzvah, but also tzedek gadol, efsemerub, etc. So based on this Alter Rebbe, based on this cloud, that you can have ask a guy to light a candle on Bein HaShmoshes of Shabbos just for yahrzeit licht. So perhaps you can also justify if a person wants to do yakin has and he's doing bracha midei every Motzei Shabbos and he's going to have a great tzar if he doesn't have the name for yakin has. So perhaps you can say that you can ask a guy to light the candle for yakin has. Now similarly in Simon Rishon Gimel, the Rebbe brings a woman. For whatever reason she forgot to light Shabbos candles before Shabbos, so she's also allowed during Bein HaShmoshes to ask a guy to light a candle for Shabbos. Now there brings that she can only ask the guy to light one candle because the chiyuv of the mitzvah of Shabbos for you to permit to ask a guy is only one candle. But nevertheless, you're still allowed to ask her to light that one candle even though the room is still lit. Why? Because that brings the me'achas shanosh mizonos me'ed bracha zuah is a tzedek gadol sheitiru b'shvus Bein HaShmoshes. Meaning here also, even though it's not there's no really a mitzvah because there's already light in the room, but because the woman already had this minhag of making the bracha, and for them it's a tzedek gadol, so she's allowed to ask a guy to light this candle on Bein HaShmoshes. So the same would apply over here also. If a person again is meduyak to do the bracha b'nei every Motzei Shabbos, so the same would technically apply here. Now there's a big issue that we didn't discuss, and we'll try to cover briefly, is in Simon Ches, in the middle of Simon Ches, Alter Rebbe brings many halachas b'negia, the type of candle that you can use for Havdalah, and just the B'kitzur Nimnotz, in a nutshell, what it's negia b'poel here is that for you to make a bracha on a candle that was lit by a guy is problematic. You're not allowed to make a bracha b'nemination that was lit by a guy. It has to be either it was lit, a guy lit from a candle that was lit by we're talking about Motzei Shabbos, not even Shabbos. The candle either was lit originally by a yid and the guy lit this candle from this, or a guy lit from a candle that a guy lit. But if a guy is just taking a match and lighting a candle, even on Motzei Shabbos, the mindset that it brings down that you should not lechatchila at least make a bracha b'nei mereish. But the problem is that it's Gzeira Shem Hayov Levarech Hamesh Nachreb Shabbos. Chacham made a Gzeira that even on Motzei Shabbos you're not allowed to make a bracha of elimination on a candle that have guy lit, because the Maisa to make a bracha of elimination on a candle that have guy lit on Shabbos is definitely forbidden. So this is a good that Chacham made, that even if it's lit Motzei Shabbos, you're not allowed to make the bracha. So in this case too, besides for saying what we said before, that it has to be in a case where a person has a tzar gadol and he has a tzar gadol that he wants to ask a guy to light the candle, but what's going to do the Maisa? He's been sitting in shul, he's going to go outside, find a guy, come inside, light for me a candle, and now what? You're not allowed to make the bracha mitzad the din of Avdallah. So we have to say that you now have to take another candle and light this candle that's not lit from the fire that the guy lit. But that, what? But you don't have a fire in the shul.
But if there's an existing flame, then you have to take it.
To start on Yom Tov? No. There's no existing flame in the shul. There's a discussion if the Tzedek God someplace can say that you can ask a cotton, some cases to strike a match on Yom Tov, but we're not going to get into that. So for a Gadol, everybody agrees that no, for no reason you can't start a candle. You don't have any candle in the shul. You can ask a guy to come and light a fire, and then you can't make a bracha on that candle we just said. So light another candle from that. What's the problem with that? There's a problem with that. It's also simple because we already discussed here in the past a few times that there's a problem with Shabbat Tolan when it comes to Yom Tov. And when they get Avdallah, boys can bring that's exactly the reason why we don't the minhag l'maisa that Rebbe brings in the God is that by the Akenahaz, the bracha ben Amiresh, we just look at the candles that are on the table, and the nails Yom Tov. We don't put the wicks together, and we also don't look at the nails. Boys can bring, why don't we just take a Avdallah candle? Okay, it's going to burn out. So take a small Avdallah candle, prepare it for Yom Tov, light from it, and you're going to have ben Amiresh. There's a need to do on a vukah. Why don't we do that? So one of the main reasons is because you're not allowed to light candles on Yom Tov for no reason. But Avdallah candle, if you already have a candle sitting in your house, it's not necessarily an Indian. So it's not so simple that you could, even if you ask a guy from outside to light a fire, who said that you can light another candle from it? So based on what we discussed in previous times that I was here, so the Maisa, I believe we have a shmua that we're going to pass that on second day of Rosh Hashanah is the Rebbe's Shena's Yotzet, the Frierdiker Rebbe's daughter, and the Rebbe would ask Rebbe Gruna to light the candle for her by the Amud, even on Yom Tov. So this whole concept of Neish Shabbat Torah, Neish Neshama, when it comes to at least at Tsheri, I would say there's definitely room to rely, and also, interestingly enough, I looked in the Piskei Teshuvos, it brings going to get a specific shadow when it comes to Motzei Yom Tov. Motzei Shabbos Yom Tov, there's a discussion in Poskim, in the old edition, he just brings that you should not, Poskim bring that you should not, when it comes to a candle, you should not light a Avdallah candle from the Yom Tov candle to make the bracha ben Amiresh on Motzei Shabbos. He just brings like that in the footnote. In the new edition, he already wrote the whole thing in the Gufa Halacha, and there's Machlekas, and he's masik there that it's actually, you can, there's many Poskim that say that it's okay, you're allowed to, even though we don't do that, but if you want, for whatever reason, you want to do the bracha ben Amiresh by Avukah on Motzei Shabbos that falls in Yom Tov, you're allowed to take Avdallah candle light from it. Our minhag is not like that, we know, but the Maisa, when it comes to our question, you're stuck in shul, and you're very meduyak. I would say there's mokim leimar that perhaps it will be permitted to ask a guy, even though it's not such a big mitzvah, but there's a tzedek god which was a shvus, and when you get the bracha, you have to make sure that you don't do the bracha on the candle itself that the guy lit. You would have to light another candle, and again, there's also mokim leimar that would be okay. Shkech.
Rom, I just wanted to make a short announcement. Tomorrow night in Yom Hashem, 7 o'clock, from 7 to 8, there will be all the Jewish people from the entire Mונטריאול will unite together, Bekesh of the Matzah V'Natz Yisrael, and the place will be at the MTC, and Omer Alahof and Gleich Yisrael Shna'al Zayin V'Tei B'Nirei. 7:30? 7:30 to 8:15, I'm sorry. Okay, so the bunch of students.